Caleb and Cecily were two best friends who loved to explore the great outdoors. One day, they decided to take a hike deep into the forest, seeking adventure and excitement. However, what they found was far from what they had expected. As they were walking through the dense trees, they suddenly heard the sound of cackling coming from a nearby clearing. Intrigued, they decided to investigate. When they reached the clearing, they were horrified to find a group of witches, their skin as dark as the shadows that surrounded them. The witches were in the middle of a ritual, their eyes fixed on a young woman who was bound to a tree. She was screaming and thrashing, and Caleb and Cecily could tell that she was in a great deal of pain. Suddenly, one of the witches looked up and saw them, her eyes narrowing in anger. The witches started to advance on Caleb and Cecily, their eyes filled with an otherworldly light. They began to chant, and the air around them grew thick and heavy, making it difficult for the friends to breathe. Suddenly, the bound woman let out a blood-curdling scream and the witches disappeared, leaving Caleb and Cecily alone in the clearing. Caleb and Cecily ran back to their camp as fast as they could, trying to make sense of what they had just seen. They tried to brush it off as a trick of the mind, but they couldn't shake the feeling of dread that had taken hold of them. Days passed, and Caleb and Cecily noticed that their behavior was becoming more and more strange. They would have strange, vivid dreams that would leave them feeling scared and confused, and they felt like they were being watched. One night, as they were sitting around the campfire, they heard a voice whisper, "I possess you." They spun around, but no one was there. Suddenly, their campfire went out, and the darkness closed in around them. Just as they thought they were about to be overtaken by the darkness, the fire burst back to life, illuminating the clearing. In the center of the flames stood the bound woman from the clearing, her eyes blazing with a supernatural light. She spoke, her voice filled with anger, "You have been marked by the witches. You are now possessed, and there is no escaping the hold they have on you." Caleb and Cecily were shocked and terrified, unable to move or speak. Just as suddenly as she had appeared, the woman vanished, leaving them alone once again. From that day forward, they were never the same, the fear of possession and the witches haunting them every step of the way. To their surprise, the witches had not actually possessed Caleb and Cecily, but rather they had used their fear of possession to control their minds, twisting and manipulating them until they were under their control. The friends had become the newest pawns in the witches' never-ending game of power and control, forever trapped in their grasp.